Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a Southern Kentucky man freed by Governor Bevin through a pardon last week says he was wrongfully convicted.
And 15 horses shot and killed in an extreme case of animal cruelty. We're learning more about horses some say were hunted in Floyd County.
Plus, in Harlan County, several people came together during the fiscal court meeting to protect one of their constitutional rights.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. The time is 5:31 on December 18th. I'm Madison Pergram.
And I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning into Mountain News This Morning on this Wednesday. Madison, say it with me.
Constitutional.
Atta girl.
If I can talk. Thank the Lord it's Wednesday. We're almost halfway through the work week. Well, it is cold outside. Let's go to Brandon Robinson. Brandon, it's cold. I'm just going to blame it on the cold.
You blame a lot of things on the cold, but yeah, it is chilly this morning, so maybe your brain is in a freeze. Yeah. There you go. It's frosty across the region. As we take a look at the Stonecrest Golf Course camera, I know it's pretty dark, but you can see on the ground there just a little bit of frost and, again, some slick spots on the road, so just be careful as you head out. Also, the possibility for some patchy fog, and that would be freezing fog at this point, so we're also keeping an eye on that. If you have any reports, please send those my way. We're seeing temperatures there in the 20s area-wide, from 21 in Monticello to 28 in Jacksboro. That's the range this morning, but again, frigid depending on where you are. Some slick spots on the roads, also a little bit of wind, so that's creating some wind chill. Makes it feel like the teens in spots at times today. Temperatures will slowly climb into the above freezing category this afternoon, but only about 37 for our daytime high, so not a warm day overall. We'll talk all about it coming up here in just a little bit. Will?
Alrighty, Brandon, thank you. Well, a Southern Kentucky man freed by former Governor Bevin through a pardon last week says he was wrongfully convicted. Yesterday, Patrick Baker spoke for the first time since he was released. He
was convicted of killing a man in Knox County, but Baker and his civil rights attorney claim he was framed by the Kentucky State Police. WYMT's Phil Pendleton explains why they say an innocent man was sent to prison.
Wants to deserve justice.
Civil rights attorneys say former Governor Bevin's actions were courageous in pardoning Patrick Baker, and they say the state police that investigated Baker need to be investigated.
And the recognition that these police officers that have been sued repeatedly should not have a badge.
He's alleging KSP detectives botched the case against Baker, including DNA evidence left at the scene that they say clears Baker of any wrongdoing.
There were handcuffs left at the scene of the crime where the Kentucky State Police Laboratory tested those cuffs, and they excluded Patrick Baker.
Baker also appeared with his attorneys but said little. Thanked the governor for setting him free and says his future is not clear. He did speak about the allegation that his family's campaign contribution influenced the pardon.
Pardon was never paid for by my family. That's something, common sense can kind of tell you that, but you're more than welcome to look into that.
Commonwealth's attorney Jackie Steele says, of course, that jury decision against Patrick Baker was unanimous. And he also says that this lawsuit against these police officers is only an allegation, that, quote, anyone can sue anyone. Baker's attorney also says that he should be cleared from the crime scene because of what witnesses said that he looked like.
The victim's own mother and child described a shooter with brown eyes and tattoos. As you can see, Patrick is a blue-eyed person, and I will represent to you that he has no tattoos.
The prosecutor said much of the testimony was discredited based on the time of night it happened and what they remembered. In Lexington, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Kentucky State Police released a statement saying the case was reviewed and it was determined it was a thorough investigation. The statement goes on to say in the 2 years since the conviction of Baker, there has been no official complaints filed with the Kentucky State Police regarding the investigation.
And as you can imagine, the press conference was hard to watch for the family of Donald Mills. For 2 years, they thought they received justice. We were with them yesterday when the cameras started rolling. His sister, Melinda Mills, says she believes the troopers involved in her brother's case did their jobs well, and people are just wanting to take the blame away from Patrick Baker.
As far as like I had said 2 years ago when we were at the trial for 1 week, the evidence proved Patrick Baker was the trigger man. There's no denying that.
2 Kentucky lawmakers are calling on Attorney General-elect Daniel Cameron to appoint a special prosecutor to investigate potential criminal wrongdoing in the pardoning of Patrick Baker. And while many in Knox County may not know what to think, they do know Donald Mills may never receive justice, and his killer, whoever they may be, is walking free.
And in Lawrence County, a woman is accused of stealing supplies from a hospital and selling them. Lachey Hundle is charged with 5 counts of theft by unlawful taking. They say between 2014 and 2019, she has stole medical and office supplies from the hospital where she worked. They say she then sold the items online and the money went into her personal PayPal account. She received more than $780,000. She's being held on a $10,000 cash bond.
15 horses shot and killed in an extreme case of animal cruelty. We're learning more about horses some say were hunted in Floyd County.
There is a reward out for any information leading to the arrest of a person or people responsible. We do want to warn you, the pictures you're about to see in this story are graphic.
It's past these trees along this strip job.
It looked like a battlefield for just horses. We counted 15 that we found dead. All 15 appeared to us to have been shot.
Near Cow Creek in Floyd County, 15 horses dead, all shot with a low-caliber rifle, in what Sheriff John Hunt is calling one of the worst cases of animal cruelty he's ever seen.
What we saw was very unpleasant.
These are some of the least graphic photos of the scene on that strip job. Others are too grisly to show on TV. There was no specific age for the horses shot. They ranged from old to young. Some of those horses were even pregnant.
Seeing them gunned down it's beyond horrific.
Tanya Khan is with Dumas Rescue. They have been monitoring and caring for those horses for the last 5 years.
They don't scatter like that without being frightened.
She says due to how they were found, it appears they were hunted.
These horses were scattered in various places, distances from each other. So they had been shot and they had scattered and then hunted and shot down.
Well, this is obviously a very blatant case of cruelty to an animal.
In addition to animal cruelty, the person or people responsible could face other charges.
A very inhumane act, a violent act, and somebody we want to bring to justice.
Now there is a $500 reward for information on this, and if you have information, you can call the Sheriff's Office at 606-886-6171. They also have an anonymous tip line.
A highway in Perry County was temporarily shut down after a mudslide Monday night. The mudslide happened on Highway 451 in Perry County near Big Willard Road and Couchtown Road. The Kentucky Transportation Highway Superintendent Shadell Burgett says that this is something they expect and plan for.
It's every spring, every fall when we have a lot of wet weather, we usually have 5 or 6 to 10 a year in different spots of the county.
Officials say the mudslide did come off of private property and that nearly 2 feet of mud covered the road. That road is now back open and you can drive on it.
Though the road has reopened, transportation officials urge everyone to remain careful on Highway 451 in Perry County. Officials tell us why they did remove the bulk of the rock and mud. The road is still slick. Well, fighting for the right to bear arms, several people came together during the fiscal court meeting to protect one of their constitutional rights.
WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talked to officials in Harlan County about the gun rights resolution.
Proposed gun laws in neighboring states got the attention of people in Harlan County.
There's been some pretty anti-gun legislation that has been proposed in Virginia.
The fear? Kentucky is next.
And there's also even a bill here in Kentucky that has been pre-filed by a member of the General Assembly.
That pre-filed bill in Kentucky is House Bill 354. If passed, the restrictions would be on large capacity feeding devices and assault weapons, and not sitting well with the people of Harlan County.
There's a lot of men and women that died for these same rights, and then as time progresses, you know, they just keep hacking away at what's rightly ours.
On Tuesday, a resolution was brought to the fiscal court to declare the county a sanctuary for Second Amendment rights.
The resolution just basically cited some Supreme Court cases and illustrated how it's intrinsic to our values and culture and is imperative for the fiscal court to take a stand to protect our rights.
They may not know what will happen with the pre-filed bill, but as for Harlan County,
all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
they took a stand declaring the county a Second Amendment sanctuary. In Harlan County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
The resolution had no opposition in the Harlan County Fiscal Courtroom Tuesday morning.
And Daniel Cameron is Kentucky's Attorney General 3 weeks early. He was sworn in at a small ceremony Tuesday morning. Former Attorney General and now Governor Andy Beshear appointed Cameron to finish the rest of his term. Cameron is the first African American to hold this office and the first Republican in more than 7 decades. He did not comment on Governor Bevin's recent controversial pardons.
Well, we have all heard stories about firefighters rescuing cats stuck in a tree, but crews in California were called out to rescue a trapped dog.
The forecast for the next few days could be summed up in 2 words: high pressure. We'll take a look at the extended forecast in about 3 minutes.